So is she trying to be playing hard to get again, or is she actually going to do anything? Right, Richard, you're in charge of videoing and viewing. See if he gets any fall off the left beam out this other time. Stand back just a wee bit so we're not putting them off. Okay. No, she's not running away quite as much. You can do a little bit of cleaning out the pen as well if you want to, but I'm not bothering.
Poo in my shoe.
Sorry, you need to get poo in your shoe. I really want the poo for the garden. So I think I'll just do a very quick update on the chaos garden, which is still chaos, although not much is growing at the moment. In this bed, I've dressed it with a little bit of manure and raked it up, and I've just planted a whole mix of different seeds, primarily to feed the rabbits. So there's all kind of lettuces, and I really would need to go and look it up. I'll put a list of things in later on, but there's lettuce, sprouts, just anything that rabbits would eat, a whole bunch of different things in there. Underneath this area I've planted some carrots, and it'll take probably about a week for them to show up, so hopefully we'll get some greenery happening there. Still mess everywhere, of course, because it's embrace the chaos. In here there's some Thai basil popped up just in here. I only noticed it this morning and it was already trying to go to seed, so I have popped its seed heads off. Somebody's still doing this poor little mulberry tree that the pony ate is still hanging in there. This is another basil. People, you need to tell me, is this a banana or is it some kind of lily? We have no idea, it just appeared in the garden. It's kind of giving me vibes of banana, and it could be because there was banana planted in here a couple of years ago in this sort of general area, but it had died back in winter. And then here we've got some ginger popping up, and this one as well. But these have come from roots that I planted, so they've actually come through the ground on their own. Looking a little bit hard done to because we've had quite a bit of wind in the last few days, hot wind. Tray of bits that I'm going to plant out. I know they're a little bit small for planting out, but I found here that I kind of need to do that because the compost is just so poor. They actually take off better once they're in the soil. But I have an idea to protect them from these rogue chickens. And this is the area I'm going to put them in. So what I plan to do tonight with this area is completely drench it, put more rabbit manure on, and probably, although it's starting to get very dark, I don't know if you can see that, might not happen tonight. I might just cover these up with protection fleece stuff to stop the rogue chickens getting them in the morning. But anyway, the idea is that we're going to plant them, oops, sorry guys, over in this area. So I'll pull these sunflowers out and they can just go to the chickens for treats, or up to the rabbits in fact. This area is super dry at the moment, so obviously I'm going to put the hose on it and just leave the hose to run for a good 25 minutes or so, and then I'll wet it again in the morning. Still got ants everywhere. I'm so done with ants now. I was hoping they'd clear off by the time it started getting cooler, but not yet. yeah, I've given up on the mini okra. I will give it a drink tonight, but it got eaten by the pony as well. Herbs are all dying off, but this lovely little tree is doing its best. Needs a drink. I will give it a drink just now. But it's doing its best to come back to life. So what else have I done? Oh, yes, I finally decided that I was going to put my second crop of peppers in here in the greenhouse, because I think they're not going to stand a chance outside. So they've just been popped in this lovely good soil that we have in here from having had the goats and the turkeys in here last winter. And obviously it's thickly mulched already anyway, so fingers crossed that they do something. So that's a kind of brief up to date of what we've done. Is my face filthy? It probably is. I've been in and out of the garden most of the day. So again, I've still got this bigger bed up here to decide what to do with. It doesn't really look like a bed, it looks like a big dry area of nothing. But this area along here is on a slope, so I'm still trying to decide what to do with it. It will eventually get more horse manure in. Where have I put my hose? I need to water things because I'm losing light rapidly here. All the little seeds have been watered. Oh dear. Give this tree a drink. As you can see, the chickens have been in here again today, so they rake out all sorts of rubbish, bits of string. Yeah, I think this little peach tree will come away, but as you can see, it's had all its endy bits nibbled off. I need to tidy it up still. Give this all a drink. It's all dying back anyway for the time of year. I don't quite know what happened to the rosemary and the lavender. They seem to have died off as well. But we'll see. They'll maybe come back. Maybe they've had too much water, because I have been giving this a drop of water most days. There's one little lavender here that's doing okay. And all of this basil I'm just letting go to seed itself, and the oregano as well. This flower is beautiful though. Incredible. You know, I've not seen a single bee in here. Our bees are gone. They got taken by the Asian hornets, and that was quite upsetting. But it is what it is. There's a big problem with Asian hornets here. Next year I will clean the hive out again, and I'll put it in a better place. And then I'm drowning my little seedlings. Yeah, next year I intend to clean out the hive, put it in a better place, and hang hornet traps at the right times of year with the right bait. It's important to have in the early spring and summer, you're looking for sugary, sweet things to bait a hornet trap. And I don't know why I'm bothering to water those, they're definitely gone. My hose is stuck on something. I don't really know why I'm giving these guys water either, because I'm going to pull them up. This is my one tiny little, what was that? A yacon that actually survived, and it hasn't grown, not at all. So I guess the soil's just too poor for it. So hopefully this year, they say we're going to put in loads of manure, rabbit and... Oh, sorry for dropping you. Sorry about that. The joy of having a terrible old hose and only one hand. So the person that commented on one of my videos saying that my moving around gives them epilepsy, and I already apologised and said I do the best I can, But I hope they were sitting comfortably for that one. This over here is doing pretty well. It's a cinnamon vine. I've no idea, I've never had one before. I don't know what it's supposed to do. But hey, it's growing and it's not been eaten by anything, so I'm taking that as a win. Sorry guys, this is going to be a terrible video. We've got very few of the vetiver grasses survived. But if you remember, I put the slips in the ground just as it got up to 45 degrees. But I do have a couple, and that's all I need for a start. There's a horrible smell here tonight, guys, because all of those dead chickens and ducks are now in the bottom of my compost pile over there. And although it's very well covered, the white bits you can see is actually cardboard, not dead bodies. Yeah, there's a fair few of them. So there's a bit of a smell. I need to put more topping on top of that. But hey, they will turn out to be very good feather and bone and what have you compost. What else is there to show you? Just this terrible technical switch the hose off by putting a brick on it. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to manage to achieve tonight. This area here has been all dressed with lots and lots of, a little bit of horse manure and a lot of rabbit manure and hay. And the plan was to plant these little guys out, which I have forgotten to put a label in, but I have a funny feeling it was Swede and they're getting a bit leggy, so I've brought them out here tonight to just put them underneath some protection, and then my plan will be to get them planted tomorrow. I'll just pop them under here. In here is where the original Swede was planted, but that was the day before the pony broke in, and so basically everything here got eaten as well. So we'll just do this for tonight. Let's see if we can just make it. Squashing them a little bit, let me see. Let's have this big stone in here to keep it up off them. Oh my goodness. Doing things with one hand, guys, is not so easy. Okay, that should do the trick. Excuse me. Okay, that should keep the chickens out of those and it's up off them enough. Something is growing here, look. Might that be a Swede? I don't know if I'm pointing the camera at the right place. That might be a Swede. But we'll soon see. Oh, so I've got little bits of labels and all sorts everywhere from ponies and chickens raking through. So I say I had tidied everything up. Oh no, I hadn't tidied everything up. I tidied up a lot. And then all my tubs got knocked over and my poor tomatoes all got broken and knocked over. They are actually all propped up on bits of rebar now. But I think they've had it. As you can see, they're just lifted off the ground. Bit disappointing, but hey, I'll get that bed ripped out. Top dress, another layer of straw on, and we'll be good to go. We'll plant something else. As you can see, she took the pony took the shade off for me. Terribly helpful of her. But I think the tomatoes are pretty much done anyway. There's a fair few spoiled ones that she'd knocked down and stood on, and nearly everything that's left has got, not everything, but nearly everything that's left has got blossom end rot. It's just been, I'm really happy. We got a good amount of tomatoes off these before they got doing, so as you can see over there, maybe you can't see, losing light rapidly, so it's just as well I decided to not bother trying to plant anything out. We could have another huge pick of these little cherry tomatoes But to be honest, I might pick a few tomorrow, but the skins have got quite thick now. It's the end of the season, the plant's dying back. I mean, I might get some, and if we get a little warm spell, I might try and dry some and stick them in a jar, because there are hundreds. But we have had so many hundreds of those little tomatoes. Quite incredible. Sorry, I suddenly saw that horse looking like it was limping. I'm going to go and investigate that. Maybe not, maybe he was just heading up the hill. So my plan here is I'm going to put in those, I've remembered what they are. I think they're Brussels sprouts, not Swedes, those other things. They're either Swedes or Brussels sprouts. I'm going to plant these along here in rows, obviously picking the rubbish out that the chickens have thrown in. Plant them along here in nice wide spaced rows. And then I'm going to use these old trays out of a freezer over the top. I think I probably managed to get like 2 lines each. As I say, there's stuff everywhere, it drives me insane. I was going to do it tonight, so I've actually watered the lines, but I'll do it tomorrow. So I'm going to put those along, put the seedlings underneath it, and then put the crop protection stuff over the top and tuck it under, in the hopes that it'll let them get really well established, easy to water, and will stop those blasted escapee chickens getting at them. So if you can imagine kind of a row like this, should give me 2 nice rows, or a block of plants that have got the cover over the top. Tell me if you think I'm mad. Over here, believe it or not, when the pony broke in, she ate my walking onion, but she didn't eat this one. Obviously 1 walking onion was enough of a snack, or maybe her mouth went on fire a little bit and she decided to leave it. I planned to put a few potatoes in here, but somebody put my potato seedlings in the seeds in the bin, so I'll need to wait for the next lot. Okay, come with me and we'll go and tuck the little chickens to bed. These little silkies. Oh, I don't know what that noise is in the background. I hope you can hear me. They're in there. I need to get help again to move their pen. It's just too solid to move on my own. And I've noticed they're out of water, so I'm going to go and get them some before I cover them over. Oh, that's these guys got some water for tonight. I mean, they won't drink water overnight, but make sure they aren't thirsty going to bed. They go to bed up in that end. And I just cover the whole lot over with a tarp, which is really just to try and provide something scary for any Mr. Fox or Mr. Badger that happens to be around. Gives them a little bit of protection from the wind, although it's actually not too windy tonight. It has been for a few nights. Yeah, it's a bit Heath Robinson, but it does the job, but it always gets stuck. And it's very frustrating trying to do this with one hand. But yeah, you make do with what you've got, people. Especially when, like me, you live with chronic fatigue and your energy levels are pretty low any day of the week. Far less when you've had a fairly trying week like we've had. So yeah, when it's windy, this big blue tarp here flaps around a good bit, and I tend to think that it might put off any predators from investigating too far. I mean, it's a fairly substantial pen, and it has got mesh, all the way down and round it. But I'm aware that this is the chicken wire stuff, is not as strong, and I do think our visitor that took so many of our birds last week, look how flappy it is now. I think it was a badger or badgers that had our animals from the other pen last week. So you guys all in bed? As you can tell, it's molting time, so we've got plenty of feathers. Here we go. Hold on a wee second, I need to place you down for a moment. I push this rebar into the ground as far as I can in front of the door. And then we also, actually I usually put 2 pieces in, but there's only one here. And then we wedge it up with a big lump there. There's also a lovely smell of rotten eggs, so I'm assuming that the eggs that were being sat upon in there are now no longer. Okay, round to the others. Up here, the guineas are roosting already. But I don't really want to... Oh, I've upset them now. Oh well, might as well go this way to show you these naughty ducks. And very naughty turkey, if I can find them. They're staying out late. It's actually really... I don't know how you'll see for light. Beasts have run away. They've got their own little stream going on. Can you see them? They're running away. Oh dear. So I think the plan is to more or less dismantle this pen, because as you can see it's shade cloths falling down anyway. All the ducks have gone to bed now. Just Mr. Turkey still out. He is refusing point blank to go to bed and spends half his life calling for his ex-wife. R.I.P. Poor Mrs. Turkey. As you can see, he lost his tail feathers. No, the ducks have come out again. They're so naughty. Okay, I'm going to pop this off for now. I'm going to see if I can chase the ducks into bed. And then... Just a little update for Georgia. Chances doing fine. Tucking into his bedtime hay. I'm just going to stand here for a little moment and see if you can see the bats flying round. They were flying right at me 2 seconds ago. Down this end a little bit more, but I'm sure if I come down here though. Oh, there goes one. I don't know if you guys can see them. I think maybe you saw them just then. Yeah, I love being dive bombed by bats at this time of night. They mostly live in that big tree over there. Oh. I do wish the light was good enough for you to see them. They're really crazy beasties. I think they know I'm here now, so they're... Oh, here we go. Did they come right over? Batty bats. And a tiny little peek at our sky. Obviously the camera does not pick up the oranges. But how beautiful is it?